Ariel Helwani post-fight at Strikeforce in New Jersey alongside M-1 Global's Director of Operations, Mr. Evgeni Kogan. And Evgeni, obviously a tough night for you guys. First and foremost, I think you've had a chance to speak to Fedor. How is he feeling?
Well, first of all, I have to say that I'm disappointed that I'm only being interviewed after the fight, not beforehand. So next time I'll expect an interview beforehand.
We had you on for like an hour and a half the last time. You remember, right?
That was
no, I'm
like
kidding.
6 months ago. That's so much time.
Last time you fought.
So much time has gone by.
Very true.
I actually didn't get to speak to him. It was pretty quiet in the changing room. He got changed, got dressed, and they went to check to make sure that his eye isn't broken or the orbital bone.
So no word on how his eye is feeling, right?
I think chances are it's not broken, but they went just to make sure.
What do you think of the doctor stoppage?
I think that it was just. I think it's always, from the point of view of fans, there was a certain amount of disappointment that it wasn't allowed to go into the third round. I think Fedor won, probably just won the first, and I think obviously still won the second. And I think everyone wanted to see the third round, and probably we're thinking that after everything that happened in the second round, Fedor had to win in the third, because the only thing he didn't get hit with was the kitchen sink. So I think people were disappointed, but I think that the fighter's health has to be a first priority, and so I think it was just.
And what do you think of his performance in general?
I think that he didn't have the easiest time dealing with Bigfoot's weight. I think that was really telling. Bigfoot has a good chin, which I think showed as well. From the various reports that I'd heard, Antonio Silva weighed somewhere around 290, 295, if not 300 pounds, which is an easy 60, 65, 70 pounds more than Fedor on the night. And I think that for someone who is skilled with that kind of weight difference, it's always going to be a hard fight.
At the end of the fight, he seemed to hint that this might be it for him. Do you think this is the last time we've ever seen him fight in an MMA fight?
I think, given what Vadim Finkelstein has just said, and that was that Fedor was really disappointed because he was really, really ready for this fight and he was in great form. I think there's probably a good chance that he comes back. I think that it was probably likely that the disappointment was speaking, but not being Fedor, I couldn't say for sure.
Do you think there's a chance they might slide him in as an alternate? I know they had the Del Rosario Johnson fight, but since he's such a big draw, the way the fight ended, do you think that's a possibility if someone gets injured?
Well, I think that, as Scott Coker mentioned, there's a separate committee which makes the decisions on who goes in if injuries should happen. From the fans' point of view and from the point of view of ratings, etc., of course, Fedor being back into the tournament would be great for the tournament. Whether or not it happens, that's anyone's guess.
And from M1's point of view, how big of a blow is this to your company?
It's not a blow at all.
Business as usual.
Business as usual. We've got some pretty exciting things to announce in the next couple of weeks for the US. We have federal television in Russia for 45 weeks this year. So 2011 for us really is a breakout year, and we've done a lot to get here, and I think that this was an eventuality which was always going to happen, and we're prepared, and Fedor is pretty much, I think, the greatest fighter that has ever fought, and we were privileged to have worked with him and to work with him in the future should he continue to fight, but we'll be fine.
There are a lot of people who have questioned his desire, questioned him staying in Russia to train, not ever coming to the United States. Do you think he needs to do something now to change up the way he trains for fights, maybe fight even more actively in order to take that next step and be still a factor at heavyweight?
I think that if Fedor comes back, I think it's very likely that he'll be doing a lot of training in Holland. We obviously have a lot of fighters in Holland. The organization is based in close to Amsterdam. And obviously Holland has a lot of the best stand-up fighters in the world. So I think more than likely, should he come back, we're going to see a lot of Fedor training in Holland and possibly fighting more often.
And you talked about some big things. We had heard rumors that M1 is going to start broadcasting events on Showtime, exclusive M1 events. Anything you can share about that?
No comment.
One last question. Does this mean that I'm not going to get the sweater, or is that still on the table?
it does not mean that you're not going to get the sweater. I think, as we tweeted to each other, I think if Fedor promised and he finds it, I think you will get it. And the T-shirt is also on its way.
Yeah, when is that happening?
It's honestly, it was actually surprisingly hard to recreate the sweater. I think the sweater had something magical about it, and the printing people can't recreate the same color and stripes, but they're trying very hard.
Well, thank you for the time. We appreciate it as always, and good luck to you guys in a big 2011 for you.
Ariel, thank you very much.